Hey guys, it's Lisa again with the Shabby Cottage, and today we're going to be making this beautiful candy cane wall hanging or door hanger. We're going to start with two of these large plastic candy canes from the dollar store. Now, in the past, I've always bought them from the Dollar Tree, but this year I wasn't able to find them. And I did find them at the dollar store, so that's where I got them this year. Now they're really thin, and they weren't as thin at the Dollar Tree, but the ones from the dollar store for some reason seem to be thinner to me. But that's not going to be a problem because we're going to wrap them in this fabric. And I'm using the Warm and Natural. I don't know if either of y'all have used this fabric, but it's really good for a base on this because it almost feels like felt. And I usually coffee stain my Warm and Natural first, but with this particular craft, I like the bright from the red and the white, and so I don't want to tea stain this or coffee stain it. Okay, so I get my Warm and Natural at Walmart, and you will find it in the batting section because it's almost like a thin black batting. It comes in a bag, and it's a clear bag with brown on it, but it's called Warm and Natural. Now this Warm and Natural you can't rip, so you have to cut it up. Now that I don't like about it because I love to rip my fabric. It just seems to go quicker, and I like that shabby look that it gives, but I've cut mine in 1 to 2 inch strips, and we're just going to wrap this entire candy cane in this Warm and Natural fabric. And I'm sorry if I get out of frame on this sometimes. I'm still learning my frame, but when I'm out of frame, I'm just wrapping. Wrapping this. Now, if these that I've been showing are the kind of things that you like to do, and you enjoy the content that I've been sharing, please like and subscribe to my page and hit the notification button, and you'll be notified every time I upload a video, which I'm trying to do at least every other day right now, because I feel like I've started this late in the season and there's just so much to cover for Christmas. So I'm trying to get as much content as I can on. And here I'm finishing up this edge and just gluing that. So now I've taken some gingham fabric. It's printed on both sides, and I guess with this you wouldn't have to have fabric that was printed on both sides, because you could just be careful how you put it on, that you kept the right side out. But I generally just buy fabric that's printed on both sides, and then I know I don't have to be concerned about the placement. And I like to be able to do my crafts in a hurry, because as crafters, you know that crafting is time consuming, and if you're going to make money with your crafts, which that's why I do them, you need to be able to do it as quickly as possible. Now here I'm just wrapping at an angle. Now, and I'm so out of frame on this, I'm so sorry for that, but I'm just wrapping it at an angle and leaving some space in between. Now here you're just going to have to rely on what you think looks right, because like I said, you don't want to wrap it straight. A candy cane is not the the striping on it is not straight. So just kind of play with it until you get it placed where you want it. And then you're just going to glue that end just like you did with the base fabric. So I make 2 canes just like this, and they're pretty good size, as you can see. I'm just securing up those edges there. And now I sell these candy canes by themselves in my store, and they're big enough that I get like 5. I think I sell them for 5. Yes, I do. I sell them for 5. And so here I am starting with the limb from an old Christmas tree. So don't ever throw away those Christmas trees that you tire of or replace, because you can make so many things out of them. I make sprays out of them all the time, but it works so good for this craft, or for this door hanger. So now we're going to put those candy canes in a crisscross fashion. You don't want to turn it in like that. You want to make sure that your candy canes are turned out. But you're just going to put that one on and then put the other one, just crisscrossing it and laying them on the spray there. I've sold lots of sprays in my store, but I have never sold one as well as I have this one. I couldn't tell you how many of these things I've made, and they sell almost as quickly as I can get them out. And as sprays go, this is probably one of the easier ones to make, because once you put these candy canes on here, that's your base, and it's just, you're just kind of building around that base. And I've got them kind of down to where I know exactly what they're going to need, and so it's not like I really have to build them in my head. I've already know where to put everything, so it's really quick and real simple. Now here I'm taking some floral wire, and I'm going to wrap that floor. I'm taking a pretty long piece, and then because I'm going to use it for the hanger in the back as well. And now I twist it around the front when I get it real good and tight, and then I'm going to twist it around the back and twist it together there, and you're still going to have these 2 long pieces, and we want that because we're going to use that for the hanger. Now here, after I get it twisted together to hold those candy canes secure, then I'm just going to twist those 2 wires together so that I have one wire essentially from those 2 intertwined together, and it'll make us a good. And then I loop it. I just make you a loop out of that and twist, and that takes care of your hanger and everything. And you see that loop there, and then you're just going to cut off your excess, and you have a good hanger for it. And so it kind of takes care of securing those candy canes and making a good hanger. Now this limb from the artificial tree is probably about medium size. With this 7-foot tree, I had some smaller ones and some larger ones, and this one was about in the middle. But I used the small ones and the large ones. Out of one 7-foot tree, I haven't ever counted how many I got, but you can get a lot of sprays out of that. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is start making my bow. I noticed on this video that this bow maker is pretty bad out of frame, but I'm making such a simple bow, the kind that you just wrap around the 2 pegs, and I wrap it 3 times so that I'm going to have 3 loops on each side. So you see how I'm just kind of weaving it in and out around those pegs, and then making sure that the right side is on the outside, because we don't want that. You know, this bow is not, or this ribbon is not printed on both sides, so we want to make sure that the pretty side is out. Now when I get it wrapped 3 times on each side, then all I'm going to do is take some of that floral wire and twist it in the center to secure it, and I'm going to leave 2 long tails on each side. This is one of the most simple bows that you can make. You know, you can do this in just 1 layer, but for this candy cane, I like to do it in 3, because you'll see when I get it separated out here, it makes a real pretty bow. I'm just twisting that in the center here, and after I get it twisted, I'm going to leave enough so that I can secure it both around the candy canes and around the back of the spray. Now it doesn't look like much here, but there's 3 layers in there. So when I pull that apart, it's going to make a really pretty, simple bow. Now I've done these sprays with more of the fluffier bows, and you know, they take forever, and honestly I don't think they look nearly as good with the spray as this is going to. So here I am just pulling those tails out, and I like to put a little bit of curve on them, and you see here I'm pulling those 3 apart there, and it makes just a really pretty look to this, and I just happen to use the candy cane striped bow. Now I've made this with the buffalo plaid bows, and it's pretty with that, but my favorite is to use this, or the just the solid red, or this candy cane striped. So now that I've got that bow fluffed up, I'm going to start adding some picks to it. Now this is just 1 pick here, and I think I got this pick, I want to say, I don't think I got this at Hobby Lobby. I've had it so long, but you know, I don't pay over a few bucks for my picks. And just make sure you get something with some greenery and some berries in it. See, now I've stuck that down in there. Now right now I'm just placing these to make sure they're going to look right, and I'll go back and add some hot glue. But I just stick that one there in the top, and see that I like where that's placed, and then I'll just start adding some berries around it. Now, so here I am adding some glue to that. It doesn't take much, because it's surprising when you put it in there how secure it feels. And if I were using this just to keep at home, I may not even put glue in it, but since I'll be selling this, I want to make sure that they don't get it home and it fall apart and they don't know how to put it back together. So you can already see this coming together. Now here I'm taking these little tails, and I've decided where I want them to I like that to keep that wave in it, and you know, I don't want it to be blowing around when they put it on their door. So I took a little bit of that floral wire, and I've secured just the tips down into the greenery, and it just kind of helps those stay where you want them. How your bow lays has a real effect on your finished product. So you know, you can have it looking really good and hang it up, and this one looks at it and that one takes it down, and before you know it, it's a mess. So if you can secure that, then it's just going to stay looking good for a lot longer. Okay, so I'm finishing up getting that secured there. It just take a little bitty piece of wire for that, and make sure you fold it down in there good so that you don't have anything sticking up and nobody's gonna get stuck. And then essentially we're just gonna build some berries and greenery around this. You don't have to add much greenery because you already have that good base, but you want to get some different textures, and that's what will help it to look more professional. Now I sell these for $25 in my store, and I think I could get even more because they sell so quick, but I only have maybe a few little sprays, a few little picks in them. And I think I have 2 full picks, and then I have just pieces. So I put a full pick here in the bottom, and then around the sides I just put pieces. So I don't have very much money in it, and I'm doing this slow for the tutorial, but it doesn't take me near this long to do it. So I still feel like I make pretty good, in selling them for $25. So I just secure that in there, and then of course I'm going to add some hot glue, and then I just add some berries and greenery to the side, and this spray will be complete. So many of my arrangements and sprays, though, I just kind of take picks apart and use several things out of one pick for different projects. So it's a real cost-effective way. You don't have to spend a lot on your florals. A lot of times Hobby Lobby will have deals on theirs, and Joann's is good about running sales, but I never pay more than $5 for a pick, and I rarely spend over $3. Actually, Walmart has gotten pretty good with some more realistic picks. Now here on the sides, I'm just putting some extra berries because I don't feel like I need extra greenery there. But here I'm just adding hot glue and just sticking it back in there. And that's the good thing about just cutting pieces off sprays. It doesn't really take much at all to hold them in there. And you're just really looking at this and seeing what you think it needs. You don't have to be a florist to be able to build this. This is probably one of the easiest ones you'll make. I love this red and white, and I haven't in the past decorated with red and white in my home. I do on the outside of my home, but inside I usually like to decorate with just whites and neutrals. But I'm actually implementing that into my kitchen this year, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. It's just such a cheery combination of colors. What colors do you guys decorate with? I hear a lot of people use the blues, and I know a lot of people are using whites and reds. Is there another combination you guys like to decorate for Christmas with? Share it in the comments if you do. So I'm just adding a little more floral there at the top. I noticed that it needed a little bit more fullness there, and you have to be really careful that you're gonna have, when you cut this limb off, I don't know if you ever cut that little L off the end of it that goes down into the tree, but you gotta have some good bolt cutters because it's not easy. And when you do get ready to glue, have some hot glue handy, because that the string that wraps around it will try to unravel. But anyway, you want to make sure you get the top of that, or the tip of that limb covered up good. So that's what I was doing, is just adding a little extra there at the top. And I think that turned out so pretty, and it looks really good on a window or the front door. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.